Hello, 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 everybody. It is so good to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat. Welcome to Arc 3, Episode 9 of Transplanar RPG. My name is Connie, my pronouns are they, he, and she, and I am the GM and executive producer behind this shindig here, which is our odd transgender, people of color-led, 100% homebrew, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live-streamed actual play campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist world. You can find me on Twitter, on Itch, and on Patreon at by Connie Chong, where you can get some exclusive goodies. Thank you to everyone on my patrons who are in chat showing up for me, Connie Chong. I appreciate it. And as a reminder, we do stream our D&D campaign Saturdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time right here on Twitch. That's 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're not in the U.S., I'm so sorry, but I don't know your time zones off the top of my dome. And now I will pass along introductions to Lyra.
Hello, my name is Lyra. I use they, them, and she, her pronouns. We out here. I am the artistic director of Shout, Minnesota's trans and gender diverse voices in all trans choir based in the Twin Cities. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Shout Minnesota. I am also a solo streamer here on Twitch as of this past Wednesday. So check me out, give me a follow. We're speedrunning affiliate. We're not speedrunning affiliate. If we were speedrunning affiliate, I would have streamed like every day, including now. But check me out at Rika Honda. And with that, I'll pass introductions on to Erica. It's no longer alphabetical.
Oh gosh. My whole world has been crushed now. Hello everybody, I'm Erica, she, her pronouns. I play Vinox Scherzo, that lovable elf sorceress who has draconic ancestry and will steal your heart, steal your gold, and is completely re-traumatized now. And yeah, you can find me here on Twitch at Erica Newgirl. I've been streaming a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, which I know C is really happy about because I get to ride horses all day until I inevitably misride them off of high places, and we won't talk about that. But yeah, come check me out. We have a good time. It's a lot of laughs, and you know, there's a great community there. Some of you are in that community, and I appreciate you. And with that, I will pass it on to C.
Where's Dewey? Dewey's dead. Don't ask any questions. Hi, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a dancer, digital artist, tabletop streamer, dungeon dramaturg. You can find me streaming sometimes, like once a week on Tuesdays, at pi_sharp. You can also find me posting lots and lots of gay and trans art on pi sharp art on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. I put like literally 14 things in my Tumblr queue because I haven't posted there in 10,000 years. So check me out there if you want. And with that, I'll pass it back to Connie.
Okay, wonderful. So as a reminder, Arc 1, Episode 1 of our show is available now in podcast form on Spotify.
You're taking my announcement. That's my announcement. I passed it back to you, but I didn't mean to. Anyway, as a reminder, Arc 1, Episode 1 of this show is now available in podcast form on Spotify, Apple Music, Podbean, and wherever else you get your podcasts. They will be released every other Tuesday chronologically from Arc 1 onward. Patrons of our absolutely wonderful Patreon will get early access to all podcast episodes, as well as exclusive character sheets, Connie's GM notes, and even the chance to have your OC cameo in the live stream. So number one, hell yeah. Number two, hell yeah. Please consider also leaving a 5-star review on Apple Music. It really, really helps, especially if you love our show. It helps even more amazing trans folks find us and support us. So thank you so much for doing that. And now I'll pass it to Erica and not Connie.
Yes, hello. You know the drill. We love to thank people here who support the channel, and these are the people who have subbed, gift subbed, cheered, hosted, or rated during Arc 3, Episode 8. Toaster with Wi-Fi, Shout Dengeki, Crude Imposter Nightbright, and Follow Black Cats. Thank you so much. And moving on to this episode, we have a 25 sub goal. 5 subs nets us a point of collective inspiration with a maximum of 3. 15 subs gets us an auto crit on the board that anyone can use, including the GM. And 25 subs unlocks the ultimate prize. GM Connie has to monologue in character about the situation at hand. Are we doing it with just Connie this time, or are we opening it back up to everybody?
You know what? Let's open it back up to everybody, because everyone's monologued once. So now the queue is cleared, and everyone is fair game yet again.
I hope
Except
we
for
get-
Dewey, who's dead.
No, I hope we get Dewey the first time. So right when they come back, they have to monologue. All right, all this other stuff. Yeah, we've gone through everybody. So the slate is new. So yeah, that's our goals for today. And now, Connie, instead of Max, since you're the GM, I think you'd be best suited to answer what exactly happened last session.
Okay, Erica, since you're putting me on the spot, last session was the midpoint of Arc 3. We opened on V traveling through Clothfowl Jungle, having pulled herself out of the clutches of the Carnival. She makes a decision, V's choice, to go back and try to rescue her friends, with whom she realizes she's formed authentic, genuine bonds against her own intentions. She goes back into the Carnival and sees it for what it truly is. Instead of a candy floss pastiche of beautiful Ferris wheels and rides on wooden and iron tracks, she sees gnarled bone rides knotted together with marrow and joints, a river of blood instead of a bustling midway, as well as a giant Ferris wheel stitched together with femurs, skulls, ribs, etc. And on this Ferris wheel, she found her friends, Mania, Oka, and Dewey, riding it completely ignorant of the precarious situation they were in. V called out to Mania, Dewey, and Oka. All three of them fell off of the Ferris wheel and slammed onto the ground. Oka in the embrace of Kane, their newfound hot but murderous blue-skinned tiefling lover. Oka and Kane ran off, really pissed off at V that they shook them out of this fantasy that they wanted to be in. Who cares about the real world when you can just, ignore your problems in this beautiful carnival? So they run off, Oka and Kane, into the big top, where the shards of Scad and Nectis are emanating. V, Mania, and Dewey walk into the big top, ready to confront the gods, or so they think. Scad and Nectis appear as a conjoined ringmaster figure, right? Their faces superimposed over each other. V proclaims herself as their rightful paragon and lambasts them for doing this to the people they claim they love. And to see if V is truly worthy of being their paragon, Scad and Nectis weigh a literal heart of gold, V's heart, against the heart of Ying, their previous paragon from the Gambit of Queen's era, or so we think. But unfortunately, V does not pass the test, and instead of entering V, Scad and Nectis enter Kane, and the carnival explodes. So that's my recap off the top of my dome. Did I miss anything?
That was pretty good. Good job.
That's pretty good.
I'm expecting one of y'all to be like, oh yeah, you missed the fact that you gave us these magical items that can solve Arc 3. So please.
So actually, Connie, you gave us these amazing magical items that makes us totally it's like a therapy ring that you put on, and it's basically the equivalent of 5 years of long-term intensive therapy. So we all have that now.
Sorry, that's too unrealistic. I'm not putting it in.
You also skipped the Dr. Lusso, bringing the A team to get the A train team together.
Dr. Lusso.
Strike team.
Dream team.
All right, speaking of which, let's move on. I'm going to pass the reins back to Lyra for the title of this episode.
Of course. Now, moving on to the title of Arc 3, Episode 9. That's the one you're watching. As always, the titles of our episodes are taken from poems or songs written by queer, trans, and or people of color. Excuse me. The title of this episode, Pain is a Mentor, is from the poem Birth Pangs by Seth in a book called The Black Odyssey. It's a very good book. You should read it. The full verse reads, Pain is a mentor, love's lieutenant, a shield of scars aligning taut limits that bid men yield to tears' persuasive psalms.
Thank you so much, Lyra. That was beautiful. As a reminder, you can access a recap document at any point using ! recap and check out A Black Odyssey by Seth. Now, moving on to the session itself, some content warnings for our campaign and this session may include comas, fantasy violence, natural disasters, alcohol and substance use, addiction, death of loved ones, memory loss, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cults and cult-like behavior, and anxiety and panic attacks described in detail. So as a reminder, you can access these content warnings at any time by typing ¡CW in chat. I'm going to go update that CW right now because things did change. There we go. So now it should be all up to date. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Our session opens on a raging battlefield. Swords cleave into shadowy flesh, arrows thick against hardened hide, jets of fire, spurs of ice, and bolts of lightning splinter the blood-soaked arena, scattering empty beasts like shadows before a fire. The atmosphere is torn asunder by the whooping of soldiers, the screaming of beasts, and the clamoring of fire and fury. And beyond all this, dripping hunks of black tar onto the earth from its many eyes, the stranger towers on the horizon, taller than the world, bigger than Andake herself, its many radiant wings unfurled to cover the stars. As blackened tears fall onto the ground from its slowly massive blinking eyes, the liquid splashes against the earth, forming into the many vicious beasts now attacking you and your armies. Shuhai, Ikaya, and Karvach. The three of you arrive just in time to see Ying backflip off the top of a massive icicle created by one of the Silver Queen's court wizards. What do the four of you do? Wait a minute. Sorry. Wrong timeline. Oka. You gasp awake, the old wound in your solar plexus throbbing, your brain swirling with images from a nightmare. Wings, blood, ice, eyes, a gold-skinned tiefling throwing playing cards through the air. Your eyes adjust blearily to what's around you, your double pupils flicking around in their sockets. You see a wall, a table, and then moving in with concern and anxiety hovering above you, a face, a familiar face. Dr. Hitsagitin Aluso sits next to the bed where you lie, the blue in their eyes looking darker than you remember. Brownish blonde hair falls in front of their wire-rimmed glasses. They push forward, talking, but you can't quite hear the words they're saying as you come to. You realize belatedly that they're holding your hand. And you can take the benefits of a long rest as you tell me, what do you do?
Woohoo, long rest. Yeah, I think just as you said, Oka shoots bolt upright just immediately from like here to here, and maybe like clocks their forehead against Dr. Luso's. They like just smack and they go
Oka. Hey, you're okay. Hey, look at me. Dr. Luso cups your face in their hands, their intense dark blue eyes piercing into your own, and they say, "What's your name?"
Koiken. Oka. Okay.
Who am I?
Dr. Hitsagitin Luso.
What time is it?
8 a.m., I assume?
Yes. What month are we in?
Dragon.
A pause. Oka, you must be very disoriented right now. What is the last thing you remember before waking up? Kane,
Scott and Nectus, jumping into Kane like Vanash did. Kane, and then so much light. Where are they? Where am I? Where's everyone else?
Do you remember anything after the light where Kane went, where Scott and Nectus went?
No.
Dr. Aluso's hands fall from either side of your cheek, and they hold one of your hands again, with both of theirs, looking at you like one might a wounded animal. You're in the heroes' quarters. We're in the Tower of Risk and Reward, back in Rosso. You're safe, for now. Here.
Wait, what are you doing? How did you get here? It's a 3-week journey from the chasm. How did you get here?
Oka, it's been 3 weeks. Almost 4 now. You and the others were passed out for a few days. After
days.
Yes. Days. Oka, I got worried when you and your friend weren't checking in through the scrying bowl. I thought that the worst had happened. I thought that the carnival had taken you. So I gathered a few folks and we made the 3-week trek over land through Talmud to get here. But you're okay now. You're out of the carnival. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
When Dr. Aluso says, I thought the worst had happened, and the worst is, of course, exactly what happened, and it's not even death, Oka looks kind of like at their hands, one of which Dr. Aluso is holding. And they kind of like tighten their own grip on their hand, and kind of like look down, unable to meet the doctor's eyes in this moment.
Oka, you don't have to feel ashamed about what happened. I've been collecting eyewitness reports from other people who were taken by the carnival. Based on what occurred, I can hardly blame you for what you did. Look, what you did or didn't do in the carnival isn't a reflection of your worth or your value as a person. It brings your deepest insecurities, your flaws to bear. It's not you.
I think we have a critical misunderstanding, Doc. The carnival is not just your deepest insecurities. It is you. It's the real mirror.
Oh, Oka. And Dr. Luso strokes the side of your cheek in concern. Here, have some of this. I brewed it special. And they turn and pick up a teacup and hand it to you. And it has like nice, fragrant green tea steaming from inside.
Hangover cure. All right. Just this once, I guess. But you have to tell me everything. What has 3-4 weeks? It felt like a few hours a day, and Oka takes the teacup.
Yeah, time slippage, so I've heard. Drink. And Oka, as you drink from the teacup, I think the camera pans toward the space between the two of you and pushes in toward the wall. And then it pushes through the wall, and we see Mania. You, as well, are gasping awake on a bed in a room in the hero's quarters. As you come to, you hear a voice near you. It's not your parents, right? But there's still something about the quality of this voice that's a little familiar. Go, whoa, 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 easy. Easy, Tiger.
What the hell? Where am I? Who are you?
Mania, as you blink your eyes and get up and blood rushes from your head, you feel a little dizzy, you look around, you see dark skin mottled with lighter skin as Talat Ohm's face swims into view as she's seated next to your bed. And you see, like, perched on the windowsill, a hawk, like her falcon, that's, like, grooming, that's preening. She, like, raises, like, two gloved hands, similar to Dr. Alusa with Oka, like she's approaching a wounded animal. Hey, what's your name?
Who the hell are you? Why are you in my room? I think Mania tries to reach for her axe, but it's probably not on her back.
No, definitely not. You look around the room, it doesn't even seem to be in the room. Like, at all. Like, there's nothing that could be probably used as a weapon in here. Do you not remember me? First, just tell me your name.
Mania Waidua.
Okay.
First
All
and
right.
only born.
Okay. What time is it?
How the hell do I know? I just woke up.
All right, that's fair. What month is it?
Dragon.
Talat's face seems to, like, close up, like she's reaching some sort of conclusion, and she says, "Do you remember who I am? Talat, ranger lady, you tracked me down, begged me to show you through Clothal, the Carnival? Anything?"
I took a fucking leaf. Right, yeah, that... the bitch in the woods that wouldn't help us.
Talat quirks an eyebrow and says,
So what are you doing here? Thought you didn't care about the championship, carnival, whatever.
"I don't. But then someone showed up with a lot of coin and very good reasoning, telling me that I should help them track their way through the jungle now that there was an explosion and the carnival didn't seem to be taking place anymore. Is any of this ringing a bell at all?"
Explosion? There was an explosion.
Yes, there was an explosion. We could hear it from Rosso. Couple days ago, almost a week ago at this point.
Week? I've only been out for... You're lying.
I'm not. And Talat turns and indicates, well, this could be set up to be a lie, right? But you see a calendar pinned up on the wall, and it's flipped to the next month, Tortoise 5, day 5 into Tortoise, which is the first month of autumn. Look, I've been told that
Hell's
you're
happening.
going to be very grouchy, disoriented, potentially aggressive and violent upon waking. Listen, you and your friends and everyone else that the carnival took, they were flung out, okay? I don't know how, I don't know what happened. In fact, I think you probably know more than me. But there was a big flash of light deep in Clothal. All the flora and the fauna, they were so disturbed. Mice and hares and birds just took flight from their roosts and dens and ran out. And then there was just this quiet, this silence. And then Atalanta and this person, Hitsaguten, started sending rescue parties in. And we started finding bodies. Not corpses, just unconscious bodies like your own. Varying degrees of injury, but not awake. Until now.
Right. It doesn't fucking matter. The carnival. My parents, and then... a blur. Right, light. Explosion? I don't remember.
Take it easy. I've been told to give this to you, I guess. And Talat picks up a cup of tea.
Whoa, what the hell's that?
It's tea. From Hitsaguten, they say you know them. Does that name ring a bell? Dr. Alusa?
Saguten. No. She's in Talmud, by the Euclid.
Yeah, that's what she told me, but she took the 3-week trek down here. Like I said...
Mania glances back at the calendar. Goes, right. And Mania takes the cup rather quickly, probably splashing a little bit,
Okay.
and chugs it.
All right. You chug down this tea, as you do with Talat like eyeing you, and you see the falcon also eyeing you with one brass eye. We push in through the walls to rest on V. You are also jolting awake in your bed, the claws of this nightmare peeling away from your consciousness. What do you do?
V looks around. Am I alone in the room?
No, you're not. Next to your bed, as you look around, disoriented, a familiar figure sits next to your bed. Broad shoulders, this feathery cape flowing down her back, her black hair now streaked with strands of white. Rev, as soon as you wake up, Jolt looks at you and takes your hand in her own.
V's gonna look at Rev in the eyes for a moment, and then she's gonna say, "They rejected me," and then she's gonna bury her face in Rev's lap and start crying.
Okay. Rev lets you just cry it out, V, as you just tears streaking down your face, muffled right against the feathers in her lap. And as you cry, she just sort of strokes your hair and just sort of like murmurs over and over, "It's gonna be okay, okay? You're gonna be fine. This will pass.
V's gonna slowly calm down and just sort of rest there for a moment and think about it. How do I know that you're real?
She picks you up, right? So you're like snotty and you're sobbing and like tears are streaming down your face. And not caring about any of that, Rev just leans in and kisses you. Erica swooning.
I feel like we're all swooning.
I think V is just gonna wrap her arms around Rev and just hug as tightly as possible. And that was one of the most horrible things I've ever had to deal with.
Hey, shh. You're okay. You're okay. V, do you know what month it is?
To be quite honest, I stopped counting the days about 80 years ago.
Just as well as you can remember. What month is it?
I think the carnival was supposed to start in the month of Dragon.
Yes, that's true. It was. V, it's Tortoise now. Tortoise 5.
But that was only like a day. There wasn't enough time for this much time to pass by.
The scrawny-looking human told me that something about time slippage. They went into this big explanation I didn't really follow, but apparently time moves slower for people in the carnival.
I did. I ran into someone in the woods who said they'd been there just for a little while, but it'd been a long time. So that makes sense. It's coming back to me now. Yes, time is strange in that forest. Everything is strange in that forest.
Hey, but you're out, okay? You're safe. We don't ever have to go back into that jungle again, okay?
Ska the Nectus.
Right. V, I'm so sorry to do this to you, but if you can remember anything about the explosion, any of it, do you know where Ska the Nectus went?
They're inside of Kane.
Okay.
Then there was a bright light.
Right, the explosion. Do you remember anything after that? Maybe where they headed to? A direction? Anything?
I woke up here. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault. I could feel Scad and Nectis shining bright, like a nebulae. But then the explosion happened. It was like a bonfire going up, and then I can't sense them anywhere. V, they're hiding, I think. I thought maybe you could have remembered, but it's fine. It's fine. Here, this was ordered. I'm here. Just take this. And Rev hands you a little cup of tea.
V looks at it, kind of sniffs it, decides sip of it, and says, Rev, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to kill the gods?
Rev settles back in her seat, looking at you. What is the emotion behind this question, V?
Buried deep in there, some seething, Sievert level rage.
Ooh, okay. She quirks her head at you, her golden eyes resting on your face. I don't know. I don't think so. Not really. I mean, as long as there's death, there will be a god of death. You know what I mean? And life, too. I can feel that to be true in my heart. As long as there are things to be risked and won, Scad and Nectis will be there in some shape or form. And the Scad and Nectis we're chasing aren't really the true ones. You understand that, right, V? They're just echoes, they're shards of themselves, they're cut off, like the rest of the stars.
I understand. Just everything I just went through. I've never pushed myself so hard. And I just so angry at them right now.
I know what it feels like to be angry, V. I hold on to a lot of that in myself still. But the Raven Queen, she keeps me centered. I'm sorry it's not the same way with your gods, V. I don't know why. It's not you, okay? It's them.
V look at her tea some more, and I don't know what I'll do if I ever see them again. But I know one way or another we have to find them. Drink some more tea.
Okay. On that, I think all three of you at this point hear a familiar voice from beyond your respective rooms, coming from like the common space, if you remember it. Muffled, go, Dr. Wusho! Dr. Wusho, I have news! And now let's cut to Dr. Aluso with Oka. Oka, you nursing this green tea. Dr. Aluso goes, yes, just one moment, Squeak. Oka, how are you feeling?
Horrible. Why do you ask?
I'm so sorry to spring this on you, but there's stuff we have to do. Atalanta, the championship. There's still the question of who the next champion should be, now that the carnival is technically over.
I still don't understand. You said that the carnival vanished when the explosion happened.
Yes, all traces of it vanished. Talat Ohm, a tracker woman living in Clothal, she led me and the rest of my team, Revs here too, and Squeak. We went into the jungle and we couldn't sense the carnival at all. And Talat told us that as soon as that huge explosion, and everyone could see it, even from Rasso, as soon as it went off, all traces, all magical echoes of this carnival just vanished like it was never there in the first place. And as we traveled through the jungle, we found a lot of bodies. Alive ones, but unconscious like yours, just scattered across the underbrush.
Next time, will you just say people asleep instead of bodies, please? You almost gave me a heart attack.
Oh, yes, of course. Noted. Will do. And Dr. Lusso actually takes out a little notepad and scribbles that down, and then tucks it back away into their, doctor coat.
Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine. This isn't the first time I've been fucked over by the gods, Stock, and it won't be the last, I'm sure.
Well, say what you want about Oka Hie, you're resilient. Here. And Dr. Lusso extends a hand to help you out of bed.
Yeah, Oka gets out stiffly. When I got stabbed by my mirror self, how real was that? Is there a new scar there?
Do you want to check?
Yeah. I think Oka kind of stands, and I mean, they're fucking stiff as hell. And they crack kind of thing if they've been in bed for 3 days. Oh, I feel really fucking bad. This is worse than that one time I spent a week on, well, never mind. And then they just straight up just pick their shirt up and look. Well, actually, I think they maybe do this instead. I don't know. Maybe I think they would actually kind of wait for Dr. Elusa to go. They just kind of stand there awkwardly. I'll be right out.
Okay, of course. Your sword, the Emperor's sword, is outside. I'm taking care of it. Take your time. Dr. Lusso stands up, sort of dusts you off, nods, and exits.
Yeah, now Oka just straight up if there's a mirror, they just straight up take their shirt off, and look at themselves.
There's nothing there. Your scars is normal, but no extra wound. Almost like it was a dream or an illusion or something, but the pain was so real.
Yeah, okay. Oka, they kind of look at themselves in this mirror, and they put their finger against the glass and touch where the scar would have been in the glass. And then they pick up one of the loose sheets from the bed and throw it over the mirror so that they can't see themselves anymore. And then they put their shirt back on and walk out.
Okay, I really, really like that. Oka, on you walking out. We cut now to Mania and Talat. You hear Squeak's voice through the door, and you hear Talat mutter, "Oh, thank God." So, you feel ready to go and take on questions from a million different heads of state, I'm sure?
More questions. Fine. Where's my axe?
It's out there. The doctor person said it was probably a good idea to keep it from you. Again, said he might be aggressive. Coming out of your slumber? I'm glad to see that I was prepared for that.
Mania squints her eyes and reaches down for the small knife that she has at her waist.
Okay. They must have missed it, because it's still there.
Mania keeps it there, sort of like an unconscious check, and she says, and she starts to get up out of bed, probably faster than she should, and maybe wavers a bit on her feet, and heads for the door.
Okay. So you head for the door. Talat says after you, and one last thing, big lady?
What?
Look, whatever you saw in there wasn't real, okay? It's the whole thing about the carnival. It fucks with your head. I don't know what you saw. I don't know how it's affected you, but it wasn't real, okay? Doesn't mean anything.
Then how the fuck do I know this isn't real? Mania walks out the door.
Okay. Mania, on you striding out into the common space, let's go now finally to V. You hear Squeak's voice cutting through the wood of the door. Rev turns to look and goes, "All right, that must be Atalanta. V, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but other people have questions too. Do you feel prepared to answer them? Do you feel prepared to go out there and face the world?"
V realizes she kind of probably is very puffy faced, red eyed, so she's trying to like, wipe her tears, and she looks. I'm still wearing my normal clothes, like.
Yeah, yep. You're wearing your
Um,
regular clothes. There's some dirt on them, but they look like they've been customarily cleaned.
All right. V's gonna, make sure the tie's tight, and she looks over to Rev and she's like, "Will you hold my hand?"
Yeah, okay. Gay ass. And Rev takes your hand, and together the two of you stride out into the common room. The circular chamber with a raised dais in the center, various rugs scattered about the floor to make it comfy and homey, sofas, couches, ottomans, etc., low tables, and desks here and there. And of course, the fireplace where the four of you were introduced to Kane for the first time. You walk out, see each other, Squeak standing there as well, wringing her webbed fingers. You don't see Dewey anywhere. As the three of you enter out into this space, Squeak goes,
"Oh, okay, good. There you are. Where's Cardew?"
and coming out of another room, the three of you see Tonga. She very worriedly raises her goggles to her forehead. She's sweating a little. She has a look of concern knitting her brow. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Cardew, he's not waking up. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you again. Cardew is fine. He's stable, but he's in some sort of coma. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with him.
What? What do you mean he's not waking up? And Oka is kind of they were kind of nervously hanging back upon seeing Mania and V again. But at this, I think they're pushing. I imagine they're two hallways, and then the center room, they're pushing across the room toward Tonga.
Okay. Oh, Oka, good to see you again. Handsome as always. Am I right?
Where's Dewey?
Oh, Cardew's in this room. I don't know if it's a good idea to disturb him. I think he's trying to rest.
Well, he's obviously trying too hard. Let me try to wake him up.
It's okay, Tonga, says Dr. Luso, cutting in. Oh, why don't we let Oka try? Maybe their blood magic can help rouse him from this slumber. Oh, okay. Come with me, Oka. Tonga turns and leads you down this hallway, opens the door, and you see Cardew Dewey Quirk, laid out on a bed, just like how you imagined you were. Chest rising and falling slowly, his eyes closed. His spectacles have been removed from his face and placed on a bedside table. Xiao Hu was sitting by his side, and he stands up as you enter this room.
Oka, it's good to see you.
Xiao Hu. Wow. It's lots of people here.
Well, can you try doing something? Do the rest of you? Maybe having his friends around him will wake him. Mania, V, come on! The power of friendship.
Tonga, I don't know if that's a...
Oh, come on now, Mania. Why don't you... Ooh, if you give one of your rousing speeches, maybe Cardew will hear it.
Mania sort of sneers a little bit. She goes, "It's fine. He'll wake up eventually."
Okay. V, what about you? Maybe one of your jokes or japes will wake him up?
V just kind of squeezes Rev's hand a little harder and just looks and just shakes her head.
Okay, Oka, then, I guess. Leaving the door open so the two of you can see down the hallway into this room. Tonga turns to you, her eyes brimming with fear and hope. All right, try to wake him.
Tonga, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be fine? I'm okay. Xiaoku and I are okay. We made it out. We're good. We woke up before the rest of you did. Now we're hitting the pavement, getting stuff done.
Why don't you go have one of those cups of tea? Okay, I'll see what I can do here.
The master requires privacy in their work, I see. Very well. Okay then. Tanga awkwardly clears her throat, nods at Xiaohu. Ri gets up and the two of them filter out, closing the door behind them. Oka, what's the play here?
Okay, here's the play. Dewey, I'm gonna do some freaky bloodbending on you. Just kidding. I would, however, I am channeling both a long history at the palace studying dream interpretation and dream magic, as well as I would like to use my grim psychometry feature, which gives me advantage on intelligence checks to recall the dark history of objects or places I'm touching.
Should we extend it to Dewey?
Can we extend it to Dewey? I'm curious if I can.
All right, sounds good. Why don't you make an intelligence check with advantage, right?
That was a 9 and then a nat 1, so I'm not very good. But I do have quite a few things to add. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I guess. Listen, Oka's smart. Oka's smart. And I think it's kind of like the door closes and then Oka is just like opening Dewey's mouth, you know, and like peering in and then like opening one of his eyes and like they maybe like cast light on their finger and like swivel it by his eyes a few times, you know? And then they like lean back and then they lean in again and just kind of like focus. And they, I think, have like, if there are like any wounds on his body, they just kind of like, oh no, that's fine. Well, I'm gonna try to connect with his blood a little here. I'm not gonna hurt him, but I am gonna try to like just like delve into a place.
Okay, reading the tumultuous churning of Cardew Dewey Quirk's blood as you pry open his beak, peer into his eyes, ruffle his feathers.
Oh yeah, it's like they're like checking his pulse, basically, but like then going like poof, deep.
You can gather two things. One is that, well, there are actually two factors to why Cardew is still under. One is the strength of the trauma. Two is the strength of character. So the three of you woken up around the same time because you've endured similar levels of grief and trauma in the Carnival, but the strength of your character, your backbone, your spine, your willingness, your willpower basically helped dredge you out of that darkness and help gasp you awake. Cardew, either the stimuli, right, the strength of the grief and the trauma was so much, or strength of his character was not quite enough to pull him out. So it's likely that he's still in there. He's still in like an unconscious state. He's stable, right? You sense his pulse, but comatose is probably the right way to describe it. Not like there's still brain activity for sure, right? He could wake up, but it's really up to Cardew if and when he does. There's nothing you can do on the outside. He has to want to wake up.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with the god piloting his body being on vacation.
I don't know what that means, so...
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, Oka steps back. And then one time they shout, "Cardew, wake the fuck up!" And then when he doesn't, they step out of the room and close the door softly.
Rev quirks an eyebrow at you, Oka. Really? That was the best you could do? Cardew, wake the fuck up?
It's worked in the past. Good to see you, Rev.
Yeah, good to see you too, Shrimp. Did it work? Did he wake up?
No. He'll wake up when he's ready to wake up.
Or if we administer a jolt of electricity to a part of his brain that controls his consciousness.
You know, that's actually not a bad idea. We could try.
Excuse me. The three of you will have to do. Let Cardew rest. Atalanta wants to speak to the three of you. She's very, very, very adamant about that.
Oka looks sideways kind of at V and Mania. And if they don't speak,
Mania does speak up. We're going then. Give us 30 seconds. Where the hell's my axe?
Oh, yes, of course. All right, you seem to be of sound mind and body, Mania, so you can have
Just
it.
give me my damn axe.
Well, hey, Mania, Squeak was reaching for it. You're gonna have it back, okay? Dr. Luso, like, raises a hand, quirking an eyebrow at you.
Right. I don't have time for this.
Okay.
Squeak pops open the top of her little pouch that's always strapped to the side of her rotund orbitus body. She reaches in with her webbed fingers and struggles as she pulls out like the end of your axe. You can. It looks familiar even from there. And the entire axe comes out of this tiny pouch and like clinks and clutters onto the ground.
There it is. Off with you. You can pick it up because I don't think I can lift it.
Not many can. Mania picks it up effortlessly and puts it on her back.
Talat, sort of arms crossed, leans in to talk to Dr. Luso. This one's been grumpy since she woke up. I don't know who pissed in her oatmeal. Probably the Carnival. Probably all the trauma from the Carnival. You're no fun. And Talat leans away from Dr. Luso.
And here is the Emperor's Sword. I don't know how you got your hand on this thing, Oka, you know. There's a warrant out for you in too long, so I hear, and more places than that now that you've taken the Emperor's...
Squeak, could you please? Which is, of course, the first time anyone in this fucking room knows exactly what Oka's had strapped on their back since they got back.
Okay, here it is, shiny.
And Squeak reaches in and pulls out the sword by the scabbard, like from the tip of it. You see like the beautiful like design of like the silver dragon woven up its azure scabbard, and hands it to you.
Where's the shit I had it wrapped in?
Oh, that? I don't know what you're talking about. It was just like that when we found you.
Oh, do I feel anything while I'm holding it?
Yeah, as you hold on to the scabbard and the hilt of this sword, you feel same animosity, right? Like waving like a pungent, like noxious smell, like waving up at you.
Good to see you too. And Oka takes it by like the chains, you know, and like slings them over their shoulder again.
Oh, and V, I believe you might be missing this?
And Squeak reaches in and pulls out a familiar glove with a gem embedded in the palm.
Here you go.
V realizes she has to let go of Rev's hand. She lets go and reaches for it and puts it on and feels a little bit better. And then she's like holding the hand and stuff, and she said just meekly is like, "Thank you very much."
Wow, the three of you are looking like your usual selves again.
We all stand there looking half fucking dead.
He's like all puffy from crying earlier still.
Okay, then Dr. Luso turns to the three of you, claps their hands. 30 seconds, why don't the three of you get ready? And when you're ready to go meet Atalanta, just talk to me and Squeak, okay?
We're ready. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Let's go.
V looks back at Rev one more time and sighs and looks back at Squeak and says, "All right, let's get this over with."
Okay, Atalanta was very specific about only wanting to meet the three of you. And as Dr. Aluso speaks, they climb onto the dais and stand on it, and the three of you join them. And stepping forward from the darkness, a familiar servant steps into view. I believe I described them as a Firbolg, right? Who had helped you. Gwyn smiles, like their downturned cow-like ears fluttering at the tips. It's so good to see the three of you again. I'm so sorry about the circumstances. I hope that the amenities we've provided in your rooms have been...
Just bring us up, please. Thank you.
Of course. And Gwyn waves rear wand, and your molecules disperse as the three of you zap into a sparkling of light as you disappear, as the room falls away from you, and you rematerialize in a familiar holding chamber. With a domed ceiling with various paintings of past champions and regents attached to the walls. You reappear on this dais.
Oka stumbles off immediately. I'm really not ever gonna get used to that. Oh, okay.
Get used to it quick. We gotta go. Manaya's already walking.
V is dragging behind, but following, but like dragging her feet.
I think Dr. Aluso is waiting on the dais, right?
Yes, Dr. Aluso goes, oh, I was thinking perhaps... And they sort of go down the steps to catch up with Mania. We should come up with a game plan before we go in. Oka, was there something you wanted to do or say to them?
Oh, I was actually gonna just walk up kind of behind V and put a very gentle, make sure that she knows that I'm there so I don't startle her, but put a gentle hand kind of in the middle of her back. And just kind of a small, a smile that's half an apology and also a half hey, but they don't say anything. They just kind of put the hand there.
While that's happening, go ahead.
That's it.
While that's happening, Manaya doesn't turn around, but looks up a little bit, talking to Dr. Aluso. She says, said she wanted to talk to us. Why are you still here?
Oh, I figured you could perhaps use the moral support, or if you had any questions before you went in, I could address them.
But fine. We've met her before.
Well, yes, I know that, and now I've met her too. I was thinking if you had any questions about a lot has happened, Mania, since the four of you have been passed out. Mania, is everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Is there anything important we need to know, Dr. Aluso, about what are the bullet points? What's the most important stuff to know?
Yes, of course. I figure each of your caretakers have filled you in about the explosion and the fact that the carnival disappeared. There were bodies, unconscious people. Thank you, Oka. Strewn about Clothal Jungle. There have been strike teams sent in, rescue parties. Pretty much everyone who has disappeared because of the carnival has been accounted for. The only person who isn't accounted for is Kane. And Oka, now that you told me what happened, it appears that Scott and Nectus, instead of going into their actual paragon, you, V, gone into Kane. Rev can't sense Scott and Nectus, can't sense Kane anywhere. We don't know where they went. And the most important thing to figure out right now is who the next champion of Nabal should be, given that the carnival is technically over and the people have been returned to Rasso.
But we have to find Kane. Surely that's the most important thing, not the championship. Atalanta can just...
Well, yes. Based on my previous conversations with her, it appears that her priority is the safety of her people. Definitely will value the life of the masses over one, frankly, murderous person.
Fuck that. Kane has got a Nectus. Kane stopped the carnival. They're the champion. We find them, we put them on the seat, on the throne, or whatever.
What?
For the first time, V has a little bit of a smile. Like, well, actually, I mean, I was the last one to talk to the gods. I mean, I forced them to flee into Kane. So,
And do you have the god in you?
Naya. And Oka actually steps forward in between Mania and V. That's not at all what we talked about. We talked about Xiaohu, who's actually honorable. Listen, Kane
And
is
what
not
did we do?
the best that any of us could have done. The best that anyone could have done.
Well, our best wasn't enough. Manai keeps walking.
But I try to present a united front. Dr. Aluso says as the four of you stride down the hall. The three of you. I'm so not used to Dewey not being here. Toward the giant, like, wrought, like, wooden, like, double gates that lead into the champion's, like, hall, right? And there's, like, two heavily armored guards posted there, as usual. They open the doors for you, Mania, and for you, Oka, and you, V, but they close them on Dr. Aluso. And their voices cut off as the doors slam in their face. And on the doors slamming in Dr. Aluso's face, I think that's a good place to cut to break. As we take a quick 10-minute break. I love that Lyra's face went from like... It's so cute.
Acting.
Acting! 10 minutes. We will be back at 4:10 here. I don't know what time it is, but it's 10 past the hour. We love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. What's gonna happen? What's going on with Mania? Shmania and Cardu, who is dead. We will be back. Love you all so much. See you in 10 minutes. Enjoy the tunes and the fan art reel. Speesh!
From a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned a secret tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood. Tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood. Tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood, hair, tear, blood. Yours
Hello, 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 everybody. It is so good to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat. Welcome back to Arc 3, Episode 9, Part 2 of Transplanar RPG. Some content warnings, just again, for this session and this campaign, this arc in particular, include comas, fantasy violence, natural disasters, alcohol and substance use, addiction, death of loved ones, memory loss, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cults and cult-like behavior, and anxiety and panic attacks described in detail, also swearing. So at any point, you can use !CW in chat for a full list of content warnings to arm yourself with this knowledge and this safety tool. So with that out of the way, let's get right back into the session. The Hall of Champions. You remember it well. Huge vaulted ceilings, pillars made of marble and stone holding up the walls, paintings, the size of boulders stretching like murals on either side of you, desks and chairs, and of course, tall, proud, royal stairs at the end of this hall leading up to a massive golden throne, upon which Atalanta sits as her 3 chief advisors bicker at her feet. At the base of these stairs leading up to the throne, you see a table with maps and charts and quills and papers and documents scattered about, as a familiar-looking human person with dark skin, trimmed beard, is in a shouting match yet again with this exhausted-looking halfling, right? And Amar, you remember their name. They're in the middle of picking up a chair to fling at Yang, the halfling, while this like older-looking gnome woman sits on like a rocking chair and is muttering and shaking her head as she stitches. Atalanta sits on the throne, the bridge of her turquoise nose pinched between 2 fingers, right? And her long, like, kelp-colored hair sort of flowing a little bit disheveled around her armored shoulders. The doors open, your presence is announced. Atalanta looks up. Ah, good. Finally, we'll have some answers. Advisors, please just shut up. But, Amar, they're being so— I said, shut up, Yang, please. Okay, Mania. V, where's Cardu?
He's still asleep. He'll be asleep until he's ready to wake up.
Okay, well, 3 is better than none. Come in, please, come in. The 3 of you stride forward. As you approach, Amar's beady eyes narrow at you, specifically Mania, and their eyes settle on the crimson tint of the head of your axe. Here to throw that again at us, huh? Big lady?
Try me. This time I won't miss.
Whoa. Hey, let's settle down here, okay? Why don't the 3 of you take a recess? All right, as I talk to these friends here.
Yes, of course, your champion.
Zora grabs her knitting things, this older-looking gnome woman, and the 3 advisors pile out, muttering darkly under their breaths. Amar throws you a venomous look as he piles out, Mania, as they pile out. And as the 3 of them disappear into a wing of this hall, Atalanta gestures toward the seats they vacated. Please sit.
Oka sits.
Mania sits.
V, almost drops in the chair. It took all of her energy to do this walk.
3 of you don't look so good, but thank you so much for meeting on me in such short notice. I needed to hear it straight from the dragon's mouth. As they say, based on Hitsagutun's reports, the 4 of you, Dewey not included here, obviously in present company, were at the heart of the explosion. That's where we found you. You were closest to patient 0, let's say. Kane is missing. Of course. Not dead. Not in a coma, just missing. And the three of you seem to have been the people to stop the Carnival, which of course brings us to the most pressing issue right now, which is who the championship should go to. My tenure is up. I do not envy my successor, but there is work to pass down.
Kane did it. They have Scott and Nexus, shot of the god inside of them. They're the new champion. We have to find them. That's it.
That doesn't
Can we
make them
go?
the Paragon, Mania. And it certainly doesn't make them fit to rule. They're just as bad as I am. Kane didn't take the gods took Kane.
They retreated
So what?
into
The gods are the
Kane.
champion?
No, we discussed who the champion should be, and we have a name for you, Atalanta. We discussed before we went in that it should be Xiaohu.
Did Xiaohu help you in stopping this? Because if...
We didn't do anything.
What do you mean? You
He
were
wasn't
there.
even there. Ree wasn't.
Oh, Xiaohu. Not at all? Didn't you see Vrim in any way? Look, I just need something to spin this, okay?
I mean, quite honestly, I was the one confronting the gods, and they retreated from me into Kane and left.
A pregnant pause. Why did they leave? I thought you were... You all told me that she was the Paragon. Why... Yeah, matter of fact, why did they go into Kane and not you, V?
V shows some discomfort on her face. And then takes a deep breath. They pulled out my heart. They compared it to someone named Ying, thought you don't cut it, and ran into Kane.
Hold on. Ying. That name is familiar. Every Nabalian child knows the name Ying. Ying Jalt?
A very powerful magician with a deck of cards.
A gold-skinned tiefling?
Seems like we're talking about the same person.
The gills on either side of Atalanta's neck flare as she takes this in. She settles back on the seat. What, a vision of Ying? This was... Legends say Ying Jalt was the paragon of Scott and Nectus. A tiefling with skin like the sun, wielding a deck of cards. What does that mean? Is Ying real? Are they here? I don't understand.
It's hard to describe. I think what I was being shown was another time and place where he was involved in a fight and was left alone to fight this thing in the moment that I saw. I only saw a short amount of time though, and then the gods rejected me.
Are you saying you saw a vision of the Gambit of Queens? You see armies clashing against each other? That sort of thing?
If that's what you call it, that's what it was.
I don't have time to deal with dreams and visions. My people need answers. They need a leader. They need laws and action. If Kane is the one who holds Scott and Nectus inside them, well, we need to find them. We need to put Scott and Nectus where they belong, in V.
I mean, they didn't seem very the gods themselves did not seem open to that idea. I don't know how you're going to convince them suddenly now. Apparently I'm not good enough to be a paragon.
I can't believe you actually got to talk to them. I never in my life, but I don't understand. That's not how this works. The fates decide who the paragons are, and the gods accept that. You can't reject fate.
Well,
You can if you're scared. And they were very scared. The gods are not whole.
They were also combined into one being, which didn't seem to help the situation much.
What do you mean, one? That's sacrilege.
Is it sacrilege if it's coming from a god?
Stop. I want to hear more of this. Atalanta sort of kneads her knuckles together and says, I can buy us some time. I can buy us some time before another champion has to be named, but the people are expecting a name. The people are expecting a change. It goes against every law, every custom in Nabal for a champion to overstay their welcome. Past champions who have attempted to do so have been hanged.
Fine. You want a name? Don't take Xiaohu. We won't do anything. Tonga that wants the championship. She'd be the ones pulling the strings anyway. Name her champion, she'll do good for the people. We have to find Kane.
Xiaohu would do good for the people. Rimza... Atalanta, can you give us a few days, please?
Okay, fine. I can buy you a week. But by the end of that week, I need a name. And we also need to find Kane. The name you give me, there has to be some way to spin this. They have to have been there during the final confrontation, right? Our truth seers will know if they haven't. The people want a righteous ruler, someone who deserves it. That's the whole point of a championship. It's a meritocracy. If the people smell corruption... yes?
Is it possible, considering how powerful those illusions were that we were encountering in the carnival, it could have been anyone on that stage fighting the god. It could have been exactly who we've been saying it is. I mean... Or we could say that perhaps in this epic fight that the person who we believed to take care of the carnival has been injured and is in need of rescue, and you've sent a party to go rescue this person, and when that person's identity is revealed, it's revealed.
Or what about the carnival technically is gone, but it's not over yet. If Kane still has them, they're in hiding now, but they won't be forever. The champion should be whoever helps us find them. That will end the carnival.
I can't change the terms of the carnival, of the championship challenge after I've already announced it, but you might be onto something here, Oka. There might be a loophole. The people think that the carnival is stopped. One of the qualifications has already been met. People have been returned. Except one. Kane is still missing. And as you said, Oka, the carnival goes on even though it's not in Clothow Jungle, not in the form that we recognize it to be in. That could buy us time. But I have to announce this to everyone. People would spill out into the streets of Raso, back into Clothow Jungle, maybe even plumb the depths of Ingir Lake looking for Kane. And they would know whoever finds them will be the next champion, and this also risks the truth getting out. Scott and Nectus are here. They're in the now. The Raven Queen is here. I met her paragon. People will know about you if I make this announcement. They will know paragons exist. They will know the 8 are still here, but they're shattered. They're echoes of themselves. You know the kind of chaos that would cause?
What about if we could call it like a sudden death match where, sure, the main event is over, but there have been a select few who have to go and continue ending the carnival to put an end to it for good. Otherwise, it will come back stronger than ever.
Okay. I might be able to work with that. There have been tournament brackets in the past, so there's a precedent. I'd have to find the top contenders, though, and give them all a fair chance. Obviously, the 4 of you. Anyone else who is nearby. Can you name anyone? The truth seers will go about searching for those who fit the qualifications otherwise.
I don't remember.
Yes, it was so hard to remember to see who was real and who wasn't, that even if I saw someone, I could not say for certain that they were there.
Okay, fine. The four of you then. If anyone accuses me of favoritism, I'll point them toward a truth seer. Okay.
But Atalanta, none of us, we can't be the champions. We can't be named.
But there is a way around it. If the four of you... when the four of you manage to find Kane, remove Scott and Nectus from them, put it inside V, and return Kane to their senses, the challenge will be over. I'll name one of the four of you as the next champion, and as your first act as champion, you can pass it down to someone else. You can pass the title. There's no law prohibiting that.
About the Regency.
One of you will be the champion, the other will be the regent. You can both pass your titles along. This can be Tonga and Xiaohu, I don't care. Just name someone good, okay?
I think I can do that. I'm a good liar.
Yes, we know.
Not a word of these discussions outside of this chamber, you hear me? If anyone knows that this was premeditated, people will cry corruption. They'll reject who I name next as champion and regent. They might even call for another challenge. They might call for me to be hanged.
Can't you call for another challenge? Just start this shit show over? There's no clear winner. The clearest winner is gone, disappeared. There is no regent, there is no champion. That means it's a mistrial. You could just start again before any of this has to happen.
Oka makes a point. I mean, the gods kind of interfered in such a way that there is no clear winner, so you could argue that the whole thing was disqualified, and you'll have to come up with a new championship.
I'll see what I can do. It depends on the people. I'll send out a survey and see how people are feeling. If the people really want a champion to be named as quickly as possible, I don't know how much time I can buy with announcing another challenge. They might decide to take over the towers, ransack the place, kill me. I don't care about being killed. It'll just be chaos. There won't have been chaos like that for 500 years. I'll send out a survey. I'll buy you a week. Use this week wisely, okay? By the end of this week, I'll have to either announce a new championship challenge or name the four of you as the runners-up. Whoever can actually find Kane, return them, and stop the carnival for real will become the new challenge. Will become the new champion and the new regent. You hear me?
We hear you. We have a mission. Let's go. Mania moves to get up.
Mania, as you move to get up, the three of you hear commotion coming from outside the big, double doors that the three of you came in from. Atalanta frowns. It sounds like fighting, almost. Like there's some clinging and some shouting. And Atalanta, raises a hand, and a trident appears in it, called out of, the ether around her. And as she stands, almost taking a battle-ready stance, what do the three of you do?
I thought you said we had a week.
I did. They might have come early.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We have a mission. We kill anyone in our way. Mania takes out her axe.
V takes a very large sigh, stands up, and hands in pockets, casually just strolls behind Mania towards the door.
Okay. Oka?
Oka stands warily and gives Mania a long look. But just kind of stands ready.
Atalanta also gets up and starts walking down the steps of the dais when the doors fly open. And you see the two guards that were guarding it. They seem to be not dead, but they're like knocked out, right? Their bodies are flung through the inside. They both land with like, ksh, ksh, like grunt, grunt, and like a clattering of like royal plate armor and chainmail. And both of their plate armor are like smoking. There's like something like a trail of smoke. As standing framed at the doorway, the three of you see Quicksilver. And they have some sort of, he has some sort of device drawn. Looks sort of like something with a barrel and a handle that he's holding onto, and the end of the barrel is smoking, right? Right before the doors burst open, the three of you heard a bang bang. And the two guards on the ground are groaning, but they seem to be still alive and okay. Quicksilver is flanked on either side by a familiar-looking rat-folk man, as well as two imposing-looking dudes, right? That you know are tide wolves. Quicksilver tips, his wide-brimmed hat as Atalanta says, "Quicksilver, what is this? A mutiny?" "Why, of course not, my dearest champion. We simply wanted an audience with you. And your guard said you were in a meeting, but this is rather urgent, you see." And Quicksilver begins walking in, like, the device, his weapon still drawn, but not pointed, right? But it's just drawn and ready. And Ace, the ratfolk man, as well as these two, like, lackeys that their names are Priam and Cato, also slink in, cracking their knuckles and snarling. "What is this? What do you want?" Go ahead, Mania.
Perfect timing. We just got finished. Excuse us. Mania starts walking out.
"Well, hold on now, darling," says Quicksilver, turning a slitted eye on you, Mania. "Since you're here, and you know we're here, we can't let you go. You might as well be privy to this quest as well." "What quest? Speak now." "I come on behalf of the former champion, of course. Bloodthirst." "What does Bloodthirst want?" "Well, of course, his favorite protege is a-missin', and he was wondering if you might oh so kindly assist him in finding Kane." Atalanta pauses at this, and her eyes stall and turn to the three of you, because you had just discussed, of course, finding Kane. What do the three of you do or say?
I think V says, as someone who was right there in Carnival, right there at the very end, right before things kind of blew apart, if you will, I did see a Kane. However, there was a large explosion and, we got separated. He seemed very fine now. He seemed in very good conditions. I think he probably survived fine. He's probably just taking a nap somewhere in a forest. You should maybe go look for him there.
If Bloodthirst wants their protege so badly, why don't they go find them themselves?
"Oh, we would. But Bloodthirst is just an up-and-coming entrepreneur, don't you know, and would appreciate some resources from the crown, as they say. Plus, darlin'," and Quicksilver turns the barrel of his device on you, V. "We both know. We've already done that. And Kane's come up empty. How is it that every single person who wasn't accounted for, taken by the Carnival, is now back except Kane? Methinks it's because Kane was the one who stopped the Carnival and is now dealing with the repercussions thereof. Or perhaps, could it be true," says Quicksilver, turning their snake-like gaze on all four of you, Atalanta included, "that the three of you have Kane in custody and are hiding them from us because you don't want them to become the next rightful champion? Perhaps that's what the people want to know."
That your latter choice there, that seems like an interesting theory. If somehow Kane was the one who did all these wonderful things, and we could somehow apprehend such a powerful, wonderful, amazing prodigy as Bloodthirst has, then maybe what you should do is give us a small investment. You say entrepreneur, so from one entrepreneur to another. I mean, a small investment to then reap the rewards, get the return of investment of this Kane might be worthwhile talking about.
We might be amenable to that. And whatever deal the four of you are clearly cutting in here, we want to be cut in too. Or else,
Look, we don't know where they are. For all we know, they could be dead in a ditch. We have no leads, we have no information for you.
Although you did let us know that for sure he's not in force, so we don't have to search force. Thank you for that little hot tip.
I don't believe you, big lady. I certainly don't. Why else would the four of you other top contenders at the championship, so my little eyes and ears have told me, be having a private backroom meeting with the Champion of Nabal herself, though she won't claim that title for much longer? I could walk out of this room with my associates empty-handed, and perhaps several sad orphans might run around the streets of Rasso talking about corruption. And at that, Atalanta grips her trident. Or, like I said, you might kindly cut us in.
I don't have time for your political bullshit. Atalanta, V, you do the talking. We have a mission to do. Mania starts walking again.
Hold on now. Quicksilver levels his device at you, Mania, and the Tidewolves step forward menacingly, cracking their knuckles. No one leaves this room until the conclusion of this deal has been met or not. Oka, do you interject to say anything?
I've been thinking really hard about that. Shit. Not yet. Not exactly yet.
Okay.
Mania, at that point, walks over to, I'm assuming there's like a pillar or a wall nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Puts her axe on her back and just crosses her arms and sits by the wall. Just done with whatever's happening.
Atalanta addresses Quicksilver. Is this a threat? No, darling, of course not. It's not a threat. It's a warning. You know what we're capable of. You know what Bloodthirst is capable of. The Kusing Guild. We've got enough of a network to give Aurochs a run for their money up in the Republic. You know what we could do to your reputation. Now, will you cut us in or not? I'm sending a strike team to find Kane. We're going to be fanning about Rasso, Ingir, what's left of Clotho, I suppose. You get 2 associates. Tell Bloodthirst that's my deal. I don't have to. I'm here on his behalf to negotiate with him, and I graciously accept the terms of this arrangement. Fine. And as a gesture of our goodwill, since you wanted an upfront bonus, here you go, darling. Quicksilver reaches for his waist and tosses toward you a sack of coins, V.
V catches it and doesn't want to appear too greedy, so she doesn't open it yet. But she says, "Thanks for doing business. I look forward to this blossoming business partnership and where it stems in the future."
As do I, as does Bloodthirst, as does the Kusing Guild. Ace, let's go. And with that, Quicksilver holsters his device, turns, and walks out of the hall, flanked by Ace, Priam, and Kato. Ace gives one last sneer at you, Mania, Oka, and V, before turning, his little rat-like teeth chomping, as they leave this hall and the doors slam shut behind them. The guards are still kind of groaning on their backs, like flipped over beetles. They seem very disoriented by whatever attack Quicksilver had leveled at them. What do the 3 of you do?
V would like to now look at how much gold was in that bag.
Okay, there were 400 gold pieces.
Oof. V looks at the doll and turns to Atalanta and holds up the bag. If he was going to tell all the little orphans of the city to start some chaos, perhaps we could take this bag of gold and give a piece to every orphan in the city and say, hey, we'll pay you one piece to talk about how amazing Atalanta is in doing everything that you're doing and handling all of this chaos in what has been a very chaotic championship.
I'm sorry, I really thought I had to sneeze, but I don't. Atalanta turns to you and says, "Let me see that." She takes the coin purse, picks out a coin, turns it around. It's been stamped with Bloodthirst's insignia. Any orphan we try to bribe with these will know where the money's coming from. They'll know better than to double-cross Bloodthirst. Besides,
More money for me then. And V takes it back.
Well, it is your upfront signing bonus. We could try to wage a war of social bribery against Kusing and Bloodthirst, but the coffers are pretty dry right now.
No, where is Kusing? The headquarters.
Everyone knows that the Kusing Guild operates out of the Dreams and Knowledge neighborhood.
V opens up her gold pouch and pulls out 400 fresh pieces of gold and swaps it with the Bloodthirst gold and then throws the bag back at Atalanta. Maybe this is for a new social program helping those who have been so affected by the great cataclysm that happened so many months ago, and finally you're doing something about it, and you've been able to procure these funds to help those who have been so severely affected by the carnival and everything else.
V, you don't have to give me your pity money. It's fine, hold on to this. You never know when you might need 400 gold pieces.
Oh, I've got the 400 marked coins. I'm just saying that now the orphans won't see that it was Bloodthirst money.
I'll think about it. Atalanta takes the money and just says, kind of begrudgingly, thank you. We really could use the money.
Right. Quicksilver's gone. Let's take the teleporter down. Already delayed. Every minute lost is a minute we could have found Kane.
V looks over to Mania and just says, you know, Mania, before we leave, I just want to let you know, fuck you, and I love you.
Yeah, fuck you too. Let's go.
Oko looks back and forth between V and Mania and has just kind of quietly been like worrying their lip this whole time, like just watching this shit play out. I'm like, oh, okay. And they take like one look at Atalanta and they kind of like shake their head and walk off.
Okay. On that, the three of you exit the hall. Atalanta calls after you. Don't bicker so much. We have the same mission at hand. Be safe. The doors close behind you. You head toward the pedestal, the teleportation dais, where Gwyn is waiting with a big smile. Next to Dr. Aluso, who's sitting on a bench nearby, but rises immediately, says, I saw the commotion by the doors, but I didn't have time to interfere. How is everything? Are you okay?
We're fine. We're going to find Kane. Gwyn, take us down.
Certainly.
Floor level. Ground floor.
Of course, hero of Nabal. This one didn't let me interfere, more like. Well, of course. You're but a visitor. You're a guest here, Dr. Aluso. We appreciate your presence, but these are official championship matters. They should be settled by championship hands. I understand, but Those poor guards, they were shot with a gun. I'm not sure I know what that is. Never mind. Dr. Lusso gets up on the pedestal. The three of you join them. All right, then. Would you like to grab anyone else from the heroes' quarters before I zap you down to the ground floor?
We have all we need. Let's go.
Like a paragon wouldn't be helpful. Take me down to the quarters, please.
Understood. We'll make a pit stop. The five of you dissolve, and you reappear back in the common room of the heroes' quarters, where Rev, Tanga, Xiaohu, and Squeak, as well as Talat, are hanging out, standing around, muttering to each other, talking in concerned tones about Dewey, and Dewey's fate, of course. When he sat back in, Squeak immediately hobbles forward.
Oh, you're back so soon. Was everything okay? What did Atalanta want?
The championship is up in the air, but we need to find Kane before any of it can be settled. And now Bloodthirst, whoever the fuck that is Bloodthirst is also looking. Whoever finds Kane gets the championship, so we need to move quickly.
Oh, that's not good, says Dr. Lusso. That's really not good, but okay. Finding Kane. Got it. Understood. Rev, Talat, because we did pay you for the rest of this week. And Xiaohu. How about the three of you? Let's all go together. We'll hit the streets of Rosso. We'll start looking. Okay?
I'll stay here. I'll help Tanga keep an eye on Karyu.
It's possible that Bloodthirst already has Kane, and that was just a ploy to get the championship. I think the first thing we need to do is go there and find out if they're actually looking for Kane or not.
Good idea. Smart thinking as always, Oka. Any thoughts about
Put
this?
you in charge.
What?
Nothing. Let's go.
Is everything okay, Mania? You've seen...
We're fine.
It's just...
We have our gear. Let's go.
You just appear a little grouchy. Like, more grouchy than usual when you wake up from those nightmares. And the three of you... Why are you standing around looking at each other so awkwardly? What's wrong? I mean, I get the carnival was hard, but... You're standing around like my three stupid sons who don't know how to talk to each other.
Squeak, this is not the time. We have a mission and it is time sensitive.
I appreciate the expeditiousness of your approach, Mania. I do, says Dr. Lusso. But we can hit pause for just a second here. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Mania, wasn't it you who said that no captain could sail a ship with broken sailors? Something like that? I wouldn't follow you onto the open ocean now.
Sailed alone before. I'll do it again. Go in.
Yes, certainly, of course. I'll fire up the dais. Is everyone's business here done? I don't want to step on any toes.
Mania, before we set off into the carnival, you were so brave, so kind. What happened?
Point of doing anything, nothing good comes out of it.
But
Let's go.
Mania, can I tell you something? I had the opportunity. I got out of whatever that world was that we were in. I found myself alone back in the forest. I could have left you all.
You should have.
Well, you know what made me go after you all? Was that ever since everything started happening in Andake, the only people I've been able to hold on to for most of my life, actually, has been you three, including Dewey. And it was the thought of leaving you all that stopped me in my tracks. And I realized I had nothing left. I was exhausted. I had nothing to fight the gods with. But if it helped possibly save you all, I would put my life on the line for you all. I gave it everything I had, including offering myself to the gods, which I didn't want. I didn't want to offer myself as a paragon. And yet, I did it because I thought it might save you all.
Mania pushes off the side of the... I'm assuming there's like an arch on the dais. She pushes off and she walks towards V. And she goes, "Oh, now we mean something to you? When did we stop becoming profit for you, huh? Thought you were doing this to just get ahead in the world. You've made 800 gold and you give 400 of away? What changed with you, V? What's your ploy?"
You know, when I started all of this, I was just going to rip you all off. I was going to find out what was going on. I was going to figure out some type of game plan. I was going to then, at the very end, take the reward or take whatever came from all of this and either sell it to the highest bidder if there was something that was going to protect people from all of this, or I would just straight up steal from you all and leave in the night and be done with it. But when I walked into Sievert's office so long ago and you came with me, that meant something to me, all right? And also, and V points over to Rev, I found someone who for the first time in my life, when I was so utterly broken, I feel like I have someone that actually maybe, you know, possibly loves me. After everything I experienced in that forest, of so many people rejecting me over and over again, including the gods of Andake, I still believe that there is someone in this planet, in this world of ours, that still loves me. And I thought you all loved me, even though you have every reason not to.
Leave it. Should have killed that bastard when we had the chance. V, I know never not to trust a word you say. You're capable in a fight, and you can convince anyone of anything. It's the only reason you're here. Let's go.
Oka, do you say anything or do you stay quiet?
Quiet for now. I have some words when there are not like 15 other people here.
After a pregnant silence, Rev cuts in. I love you too, V. Alright, a one-way ticket down to the ground floor, then. Step up, heroes. I'll make your transition as painless as possible. Alright, here we go. Say bye-bye. Dr. Lusso also steps onto the dais with you. Ching! Gwyn waves rear wand. And the five of you reappear on the ground floor of the Tower of Risk and Reward. Bustling, as you remember it, with various shops cloistered all around, people moving to and fro, though you do notice that there are fewer terminals, teleportation terminals, than even the last time you were here. Magic is dwindling, and it seems to be dwindling fast. But Gwyn seems to have held on to rear spellcasting ability. V, you also see your little shop, your little, now dilapidated, not really taken care of shop in the corner that you took over from Barney the dinosaur. As he zapped back down, surrounded by the anonymity of a crowd. Oka, do you say anything?
Actually, as they're walking, technically, Brand of Castigation lasts until it is dismissed or applied to another creature.
Oh my god!
Technically. I'm willing to take a devil's bargain since it has technically been several days and also exploded, and Kane doesn't exactly belong to themselves anymore. But I do want to try to plumb the depths, see if I can get a ping. But spoiler alert, I'm not going to tell anyone if I do.
Wow, I completely forgot that was still active. And I didn't ask you didn't take any damage, right? Because otherwise you'd have to make
It doesn't have anything to do with damage. It's not like a concentration spell. It lasts until it is dismissed or applied to another creature.
Okay, then just make an intelligence tracking check with advantage because you're a blood hunter.
Are you fucking kidding me? I rolled 2 natural ones.
No!
Are you gonna take it?
I don't want to. No,
3.
fuck no, I'm not. Give me do we have an auto crit? That's fucking mine. You know what? Fuck you guys. That auto crit's mine. Where the fuck is Kane?
All right, you use
Plus my intelligence is a 27.
All right, you use the auto crit. Just as a frame of reference, a 25 is Tiamat's armor class. So with a 27, what does it look like as you're like centering yourself and trying to find Kane?
It's like the brand for Oka is like underneath all of this scar tissue. Like that's where it lives on them. And it's like one little thread just goes of the weave just goes taut, like just like pulled in a direction. And that's how they find it.
Okay. With your natural 20 plus 27, I will also give you a vision of what Kane is up to right now, not just the direction that they're in, right? And where they are physically. Your eyes sort of glaze over as an image flashes into your head, and you see from Kane's perspective, stumbling, walking, sort of almost like a drunken, like a jerking gait. You see cobblestones underneath your feet, and you hear the city around you. Okay, Kane's somewhere in Rosso. They're somewhere here. They're close by. And you see like a hand, a midnight blue hand, rest on the side of an alley wall, right? And you turn and you see that your hand is drenched in blood. And you smell blood as well in this alley. And like Kane's hand goes down, like decorated, its fingers decorated with so many rings and gems, and like this like splatter of blood like is smeared down the side of this alley wall. Kane lets out a and you can feel this like pain, right? Like ricocheting around in their chest. And Kane turns their head, you turn your head, and you see a body, a corpse, with a hole where their heart should have been. Right? And you see like the desiccated remains of that heart, like splattered against the ground. And you know that Kane has just straight up like reached into this body and taken the heart out and crushed it, right? And there's something about this body on the ground that makes Kane just spit at its feet and go, "That was for the lashes, old man." And Kane turns and continues staggering through the alleyway, hell-bent on exacting revenge on someone else. And then poof, you're pulled out of this vision, and you stumble back into your body, and you can feel this tether connecting you to Kane, tugging you in the direction of, let's see, of the Plaza of Dreams and Knowledge. What do you do?
I think Oak, is walking behind everyone, and they kind of like stop, as that comes over them, and they pause, and then they just kind of keep moving. And they pull up beside V. Well, actually, I don't know if they do. Yeah, they pull up alongside V. V. It's hard for me to remember exactly what happened, but I wanted to say thank you for turning around for us.
You're welcome, Oka. I know you would have done the same for me.
Yeah, it's because I can't seem to get you away. I know what it feels like to be rejected by the gods. This, and Oka kind of trails over the scar, was a gift from Mongshan Shirdi when I was very young. Well, not that young. You don't have to take it if you don't want to.
He thinks about this for a long time, and she's gonna cast message instead of actually saying this out loud, but inside of Oka's mind, she hears V's voice very clearly and intentionally. I don't know what I'm going to do when we get to those gods. Some moments I want to destroy them, and the others I want to embrace them. But I'll see what happens when I get there.
And Oka replies, "Good. You'll take whatever risk you need, and I'm sure you'll reap their reward." And then they kind of like clap her like on the shoulder and keep walking. They like walk a little faster.
And I think on Oka exiting and walking, leading the charge toward this unknown future, right? Toward Kane, trying to stop Kane, find Kane, and finally stop this goddamn championship challenge. We can end the session there. Okay.
I miss Dewey.
Me too. Dewey is dead. Dewey dead emote in chat. Dewey dead emote. Figure it out.
Dewey is not dead.
Dewey comatose emote. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Arc 3 episode 9. This is of course the big what the hell was that episode after the events of our midpoint. So thank you for tuning into this. So excited for our next episode next Saturday, episode 10 of Arc 3. After that, there will be about 6 more episodes to go. Whoa, we're past the halfway mark here of Transplanar RPG's Arc 3. But I'll do my little outro spiel later. I've been Connie. I've been your GM and executive producer. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter, Itch, and Patreon at @byConnieChang on the internet. And I will pass along introductions to Lyra.
Hello, everyone. My name's Lyra. I use they and she pronouns. I play Mania. She Angie now. Ooh. I am the artistic director of Shout, Minnesota's trans and gender diverse voices in all trans choral group based in the Twin Cities. Come find us on Facebook and Instagram at Shout Minnesota. I also stream here on Twitch. Find me at literally random parts. Join the Discord if you want updates on when I'm live. But the Transplanar Discord, because I don't have a Discord. At Rika Honda. Go ahead and throw me a follow if you want. I'll pass introductions on to Erica.
Hi, everybody. I'm Erica, she, her pronouns, and I played Vinoc Scherzo. I did have when Dewey wakes up, he will literally be a woke-ass pigeon. I just had to say it out loud. I regret it now that it's out there. But come follow me on Twitch as well. I'll be live tomorrow after. Oh God, now I feel embarrassed. I'll be live tomorrow afternoon playing some more Red Dead Redemption 2. I swear, I named my newest horse Cliff. Hopefully, so it doesn't fall off a cliff like all my other horses. Okay, so
You're
we'll be good.
inviting disaster with that name, Erica. You're you're shaking your little butt at disaster and saying, "Oh, come on in, the water's warm."
Yeah, okay,
That is a very weird analogy, Connie. I wish you wouldn't.
I regret my entire introduction, and I will pass it to C.
Hi y'all, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a dancer, digital artist, tabletop streamer, dungeon dramaturg. You can find me doing stuff on Pie Sharp Art on the internet, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. I posted a bunch of stuff in my my Tumblr queue, so check that out, like it, reblog it. Yeah, remember reblogging? That's right. Anyway, you can also find me streaming on Twitch at pie_sharp. All I've been doing is drawing Kane and Oka kissing because I'm gay. So with that, I think that's the end of my introduction.
Heck yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm starting a raid right now. Use the raid message when we do raid. We're going to raid all nerds here. They're playing tabletop games, and there's looks to be in the preview a wonderful, diverse, a gender diverse and racially diverse cast playing right now. So toss them a follow. All nerds here. They're very, very cool. Tune in next week. That's going to be Saturday, July, if anyone knows it, July 10th at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That's 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 10 of Arc 3, where we try to find Kane and stop Kane as they apparently go on a murderous rampage, now armed with two gods inside their body. It's gonna be like Oka, but worse, because they're not a paragon, so they're gonna die like Ravi in Arc 1 if we don't find them and save this hot tiefling. So, raid! We love you all. Give them a follow. See you next week. Sub to us. Pledge to our Patreon. Check out us on podcast form. Arc 1, episode 1. We do podcasts every Tuesday. I'm going to go out. Bye-bye.